This is a stitched-together compilation of TikToks explaining why some believe the US is heading toward collapse. I don't own these clips. This is purely for educational and awareness purposes.
Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, New Orleans, Miami, Virginia, New York, Boston, the Great Lakes, Shanghai, Vietnam. I'm seeing a lot of posts like this about how there are no ships in our ports, and it certainly kind of looks like that from these real-time maritime maps. I'm no expert in this and I don't have any history in it, but it sure would be great if somebody who did could chime in and let us know if this is normal or if this is something we should be concerned about.
There are no more ships coming from China. Reports from Seattle, Oakland, Long Beach saying their ports are becoming empty. Very few goods are still arriving from China now, which means the trade war that Trump has enacted and the tariff plan is going to start working its way into our wallets. We're going to see a lot more empty shelves. There's going to be a lot more pricing on goods because we, as the biggest consumer against the biggest producer, will no longer be able to hold the supply that we want. Therefore, yeah, we're going to start seeing the trade war actually happen. Regardless if you voted for Trump, if you didn't, this will affect every single one of us. It has nothing to do with political notion, really. If this is what you voted for, you are about to reap what you sow. Trump has started a war with the biggest producer in the world as the biggest consumer in the world, so this will affect every single person living in America. Take out all the immigration issues and all the other bullshit that's happening with that administration. This is one of those gas prices, grocery prices will lower on day one. We're at day 100 something. It is not lowering, and I don't think it will in the nearby future. So stay safe out there.
This is the Seattle port today. This is where all of our imports come in. My whole life, I've always seen Maersk, Maersk, or Hoyland side shipping containers. This has always been full of shipping containers. Not today. And before any Republicans come in here, this has only ever happened one other time. And basically, this is a text message between me and my mother where I showed my mom this because the only other time I've seen this was in 2020 when this asshole was president and that thing happened last time. However, my mom was like, oh, it was like that in 2008 to 2009. My mom was 30 in 2008. I was 15. So I really don't remember that time super well, but she does. And my mom has now officially made it very clear to me we are in 2008 level recession because the fact that this looks like this never happens. I can't remember a single time outside of 2020 when it looked like this, but this is my mother, my mom, who is now 47 years old, saying that, no, this was also exactly what happened in 2008. You can see it from this angle. There's no ships coming in, there's no ships leaving, and there is literally no cargo, oh my goodness, shipping containers. There's just none. Like, it's wild, you guys. And, like, I don't think you guys also understand. I went to the store today, and at QFC, there are empty shelves. If you go to Walgreens, there are empty shelves. It's already starting again, just like last time. And just like last time, Republicans are saying it's not real. They're gonna say it's not real the whole time. And, it's insane. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. And I'm kind of scared because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't even really have windowsills to grow food on. Like, this is insane.
America is about to learn how good we actually used to have it. The ports are empty. Food isn't coming in. Goods are not coming in. Everyone who works in the shipping industry is saying we are about to face a crisis much bigger than the empty shelves during COVID. We have felt entitled in this country to freedom, to democracy, to human rights, to unlimited food and crap to buy. We got lazy and we did nothing to maintain those freedoms and those rights. We assumed that other people would do it. We stopped valuing our own education. We stopped reading. We stopped being kind to other people. We got completely hell-bent on having more stuff, on having more money, on having more whatever, having more fucking Botox in our faces. It's a false ladder that we were taught to climb. And I don't know if this current iteration of Americans has it in them to survive the Great Depression, Part 2, but I don't know if we're gonna have a choice, babe.
Washington people, listen up. This is really fucking big. There are no international ships at the shipping ports in Seattle right now, and the last one is scheduled for the 29th. That means that major supply chain issues are gonna start happening really fucking soon and really fast. Basics, household items, things that we buy every day that are from international areas, China, Canada, Mexico, Central America, like we get all over Asia, just we get so much stuff, Europe too, from other countries, and we are seeing no international ships. Shelves are going to empty, and we aren't going to be able to get those things back very quickly, and prices are going to go up like crazy, and small businesses, large businesses, all sorts of people that rely on imports and exports are going to see huge changes, and not for the better, really soon. So if there's some essentials that you need, get those, but also remember, shop local, support your community, support your neighbors, and if you need to give money to somebody to get something, support the people in this area that need it during this time, because this is going to hit us financially so hard. Like, the consequences are hard to even like picture. It's so huge. So prepare as you need to.
Want to know why the ports are empty? The US dollar is losing its value. That's why. I don't want to hear about fix your credit. I don't want to hear no lies about I made my side hustle, made me $20,000. I make more money on my side hustle than I do doing my regular 9 to 5. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Do you have any eggs? Do you have any cows or goat in your backyard? Do you have any chicken? Right now is the best time to start utilizing our natural instincts. I am so fucking serious right now. If you know how to fish and hunt, you better do it. And if not, you better fucking learn. Don't know how to grow anything? You can buy a little grow kit off of Amazon. Y'all better start doing something. Because the ports are empty and the US dollar is losing its value. And eventually there's going to be famine. That's what it's gonna come down to, this to survival of the fittest. Either you know how to survive or you don't. Aesthetics don't help you survive, baby. These little neutral colored couches and damn pictures y'all got on the walls and the little tapping of the coffee cups and shit, that's not gonna do nothing for you in the next couple of weeks. Y'all better learn how to eat, and you better learn how to hunt, and you better learn how to grow some shit. And I'm not even gonna hold you. If you wanna grow it, you better grow it now, because when it gets summertime, watch that heat be so hot that not even the plants and the fruits will be able to withstand it. I promise you that. The days of living the luxury lifestyle or portraying the lifestyle of luxury are over. It is time to learn how to survive out here in these streets. I'm dead ass. All right? I am so fucking serious. Get you a bread maker and start making you some bread. That's what you need to be doing, because shit is finna get real fast.
We don't have any international ships coming into the Seattle port, like at all. Same with San Francisco and LA, and it looks like the East Coast will be looking like that pretty soon after May 10th. So I wanted to give you guys a list of things to kind of buy incrementally over the next few weeks. We don't want to panic buy, because we don't want to have another COVID toilet paper situation. So incrementally over the next few weeks, things that are imported that are really important to get. especially things that will keep a long time, are things like sugar, spices, cat food, dog food, paper products, baby supplies, so like wipes, diapers, formula is a big one. We'll also want to stock up on things like meat and dairy that you can either freeze or shelf stable dairy. Really good things to get right now are rice. Really good staple foods like beans and rice, because those are a complete protein. Those are always good for emergencies. And if you can, get an extra dose of your prescription medications, because we get so many medications from China. Also things like ibuprofen, cold medicine, those kind of basics, household items, cleaning supplies, a lot of that are things that we get from China as well. Also, if you don't have one yet, have a really good emergency kit with like a GPS satellite radio, with flashlights, with batteries, with battery solar packs kind of a thing, maps of the United States, things like that, bug out bag kind of gear. There's already huge blackouts in Europe right now. Multiple countries are completely blacked out and without cell service. So that should be something that's kind of on the back of people's minds that we should be low-key preparing for. But also think long-term. What are your long-term plans? Starting a garden, how are you going to make more self-sufficient systems? Not rely on paper products as much. Switch to cloth wipes, cloth towels. A lot of these things we don't need to rely on, and there are much more sustainable ways to go about doing our normal activities, if you will. And remember, shop local. Thrift stores exist. Be smart with your money and make sure you are mindful about who is it going to. Is it going to the large 1% corporations that'll be fine through all this? Or is there a mom and pop option locally nearby you that they might be somebody who might go out of business because of all this shit that you can go support?
I'm not really one to be alarmist, but I just saw our local port. Some of you know that I drive for Uber, and I had to drive past our port that's local to me. And usually it's filled, shipping container on top of shipping container, maybe 5, piled high, 5, somewhere around 5. I don't really know. Could be less, but a lot. And it's covered from one end of the yard to the other. And when I drove by it, there were 3 shipping containers, where usually there's at least 300 more. I've seen all the maps and all the people showing the live data of like, hey, this is I can't remember which port it was, but it's like the most active port. Put it in the comments if you don't mind. And then there's like no one coming in. And then in China, it's just all of the activity has shifted to China. I've heard it predicted that we will have empty shelves by April 30th. No one wants to deal with us. Even rolling back the tariffs, the dollar is sinking in value. This is not something that we can just come right back from. I don't think y'all understand. We've been competing with China for years, and they caught up quickly, and now they're passing us. We could have stood a chance. Biden was trying to build chips here, trying to, invest in the infrastructure that we needed, and Trump just destroyed all of it. And then on top of that, put on worldwide tariffs based on stupidity and a lack of understanding of basic economics. And then he's got sycophants that will just say, oh yeah, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to bring all the jobs. It's going to bring all the jobs. And then he turns around on the tariffs and they're like, oh no, he was just art of the deal, art of the deal, art of the deal. This is going to have long lasting impacts on Americans. And those of us that are less fortunate, we are going to bear the brunt of it. If you can, I doubt anyone's made it this far, but if you can, go and stock up on noodles, beans, rice, just the essentials, just in case. They'll last forever, and it's not like it's going to be bad to just have them in your cupboard, you know? We don't want to be wasteful. We don't want to panic, but we want to be prepared, right? So, this is America.
What are the consequences of the fact that there's no ships coming in to the biggest port on the West Coast? The port in LA is reporting that there are no ships with shipping containers. The port is basically empty. And the same thing has happened in Seattle. And this happened pretty quickly, right? The tariffs came in and people are not ordering anything, and people who have ordered things have canceled their orders. And the implications for this are mainly for the American economy right now. China has lots of flexibility to be able to handle this. They can give grants to companies and things like that because they are running their economy very differently, and they also don't have the same sort of debt load that the Americans are facing. But the implications for this are just catastrophic for the U.S. I mean, the first one that we can see right away is for truckers. There are reports that the truckers, the level of demand right now is the same as for Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, which is the lowest of the year, and that is every day. So you're going to see truckers laid off, you're going to see port workers laid off, and the cascading effect obviously through that local economy will happen fairly quickly because those people are not going to have the money to be able to spend, and it's going to affect the real estate in those places as well. But think about the stores and the companies that need components to manufacture things. There's all sorts of things that are manufactured in the U.S. using components that come from overseas. And then people who need tools. Most of the tools are manufactured in the States, in China. You need those tools. You need them to be relatively inexpensive so you can run your business. And so the cascading effect of this will be, of course, a decline in the economy, and you probably see some readjustment in certain prices because there'll be very little competition for it. So, you know, there's all of these cancellations of meat orders going to China, which is going to affect the price of beef and pork, and all of those things are going to drop for Americans. And that's wonderful for Americans, except it's going to put a lot of farmers out of business because they're already selling at very low margins to start with. So you'll see some economic decline, which will in some sectors lead to deflationary pressures. But for the most part, you're just going to see economy slipping into failure mode. And the worst recession ever, because it's not just some sort of over exuberance or something like that in some sector or another. It's actually just pulling the fundamentals out of the economy and throwing it into collapse. And this is just the start. I made a TikTok a few weeks ago saying, get prepared. In a couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing shortages of things on store shelves. And when there's no ships coming from China, you're going to see shortages of things on store shelves happening really quickly now, because they rely on very tight schedules for things. It's really, computers are making the orders. When something is sold in a store, an order goes to the head office and it automatically goes to the supplier in China. And when they cut that off a few weeks back, when the tariffs were first imposed, that was the end of those replacement orders coming in for things that are on the store shelf. So things that you need that are like hard goods manufactured in China, and that's most of what you need. If you're in the US, you should be going and buying it now. Of course, in Canada, this isn't affecting us at all because we're not putting any weird tariffs on things coming from China. But when you see a harbor that has no ships and a busy port like LA and Seattle with nothing on the dock, I can tell you that's worse than anything we experienced in the pandemic, and it's completely self-inflicted.
My mom called me today and told me that the McDonald's that is near our house offered her chicken strips today. I absolutely loved McDonald's chicken strips. And then they were gone, off the menu, never to be heard of, never to be seen again. They came on the intercom when she went through the drive-thru. They offered her chicken strips, and she asked them, "Oh my God, you haven't had these in a long time. they're bringing them back for good? And he said, oh, no, I don't know if they're bringing them back for good. Maybe the next 3 months or so. And I stopped her and I said, have you noticed that all these videos are talking about the ports are empty? China has all these shipping containers, the US on the LA port, the Seattle port, all the major ports are empty. And he's telling you, maybe we'll have them around for the next 3 months. I'm thinking, maybe all of these companies know something that we don't, that all of this sort of distraction needs to be happening so that people forget that when there's no food on the shelves, we'll just pop into McDonald's and get some chicken strips. You know, they're bringing some items back. Didn't you know they had the chicken strips? So that we are talking about other shit instead of talking about why are all the ports empty? Why is Vegas empty? Why is there all of this market manipulation? Why are all of our secrets on signal? Why are we still having an impeached president, 34 felonies in office? Oh, but you want me to go and buy some chicken strips from McDonald's. Wake up, America. And thank you to my mom. No, I did not get this chicken strips. But I want you to know, they're going to bring back something else. And then when the stores have nothing on the shelves, you're going to be like, it's okay. We can just go get whatever that thing is. Wake up now, people.
Have you guys seen the ports? If you haven't seen the ports, go ahead and look in your search bar for Los Angeles ports or Seattle ports, because it is being reported they're an absolute ghost town. And the last ships are coming in at the end of this month. And on the East Coast, it's not getting any better. The last ship coming in from China is targeted for May 10th. And if you look at ports in China, the largest port in China, it is an active, busy hub. So it shows you it's not something that's sweeping the globe here. This is not COVID. This is more directed. This is direct effect of Donald Trump and his tariffs. And I'm not going to come in here and fearmonger and say we're not going to have anything, but you better believe if ships are not docking and they are not taking goods off those ships and they are shipping empty, 40+% of ships are shipping like empty or close to empty. What do you think that's going to happen? The only logical conclusion is there are going to be less goods on the shelves. And it's not only going to be, your toys and electronics and things that you can get by without during a recession. It's going to be food, vegetables, fruits, grains, all sorts of things like that we import. We import a lot of beef and pork and things like that. Even though we have it here, we also import a lot of food as well, a lot of other meats from other countries. And you're going to see a drastic change in the next coming month. In the grocery store, in the retail shop, Walmart CEOs, Target, Home Depot, those CEOs sat down with Trump and said, look, the shelves are going to be barren.
It's being reported that 200,000 shipping containers from China came to the United States empty. The CEO of Walmart is stating that the Walmart shelves will soon be empty. And all of this is behind this trade war, these tariffs that were put on all of these different countries, especially China. 125% tariff, 145% tariff, and so forth and so on. At the end of the day, this only hurt the American people, the consumers, us. And being an American, I'm not happy with China sending 200,000 empty shipping containers to the United States. But I do understand, anytime your number one trading partner turn around and slap those type of tariffs on you, you got to make a statement. And they made a statement. They sent 200,000 empty shipping containers. Folks, we are in a world of trouble. And we only, 3 months in on this thing? Unbelievable.